There's Dansby Swanson here on Facing Freddie. I don't know. I feel like both parties to this point were big boys. We're grown-ups. We move forward. He's able to be back home, and we got a phenomenal guy over there at first base. Two, it'll just be good to see him. I always like seeing him. As we bring you inside, back inside Studio 3, I'm Fran with Cliff Lloyd and Mike Lowell. First off, let me ask you about Freddie Freeman going into the Braves clubhouse, he said there, to say hello to some of the guys. Just, what do you think about that, Cliff?
I mean, coming off the World Series and stuff and how all this unfolded, I wouldn't be comfortable with it, you know, as a player in the clubhouse, even though I'm a fan of this dude. I love him. But if I'm Matty Olson, I'm like, let me check out and figure out another, angle or where I'm going after this. But it's hard to talk about because we are brothers. We should be able to say, hey, no harm, no foul. He went in the clubhouse and it's all good. But I'll be a little pinched about it.
Mike?
Well, I think that's one of the phases of this game that it has changed. I think the clubhouse was kind of sacred ground. No one on the other team ever entered the clubhouse. If it was for anything, it was to call someone out because they wanted to fight you in the concourse. Right. So, I mean, yes, like Cliffy said, there was a brotherhood, a camaraderie. It was 12 years of his career there. More than 90% of the guys he went to battle with every day. I don't know if Kenley Jansen appreciates Freddie Freeman coming into his clubhouse. I don't know. I don't have a pulse of that clubhouse. Could you say, could you do it in BP? Can you go have a steak dinner afterwards? Right. Absolutely. So I'm just leaving it as if the Dodgers don't have a problem with him going there and the Braves don't have a problem with him welcoming him in, then both sides are good with it.
We all good.
All right, so Freddie Freeman, obviously, former MVP here, World Series champion. But if you're going to get someone to replace Freddie Freeman, I think Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves did about as good a job as you can get in Matt Olson. Don't want to call him a Freddie clone, but he does just about everything as well as Freddie. Freddie hits for average, a little bit better, can go the other way, but he's got the power. Freddie's a little bit better defender, but Olson's he's not shabby at first base either. Who do you think got the better end of this situation here?
Oh, wow. Those are always hard to tell because we haven't seen the years play out yet. But for where the Braves were, I just don't think they could have been able to afford letting Freddie walk and not replace it with anyone of some type of caliber. So understanding that, I got to believe Freddie being someone from Southern California, going back home was a big deal. Matt Olson's from the Georgia area.
Yep, right.
So it's kind of a homecoming for him. Younger, cheaper.
Yep.
And you look at the comparisons, he's an above-average defender. So there's a lot of things. Is he the same type of face of the franchise? It's almost impossible to expect a guy to go into another clubhouse when he's been on another team for a number of years to be this leader, replacing a guy of Freddie Freeman's stature. So I just think the best thing he can do is get off to a hot start, which he has, and I think the Braves will welcome him with open arms if he puts together a Matt Olson type year. I don't think he should try to do what Freddie Freeman does. Right. What Matt Olson does is all-star caliber. The Braves would be delighted with that.
Go to spring training this year. We get a chance to talk to him, and that's exactly what he said. I'm not trying to fill those shoes. It's impossible, especially what he's brought here to, the city of Atlanta. So, I think Matty is the perfect guy to go into that clubhouse, into that establishment, and be himself. Is he as vocal as Freddie? I don't think you have to be. Vocal to me is play. Like when you talk about being vocal, you ball, that's vocal enough. That's some stuff jump off. Freddie was probably the mediator and, allowed Snicker to sort of just manage the team, and he took care of the stuff in the clubhouse. All right, but that comes with time. Okay. So Matty's coming from a situation where he's like, look, everything happened quick. I got to the Braves. I'm now playing first base. Freddie's gone. People expect me to be as good as Freddie, and I get a big deal.
Let me ask you.
That's a lot.
But let me ask you. Braves just won the World Series, so obviously they're looking to go back-to-back. They feel like they have the team to do it. Do you lose the intangibles that we can't quantify? You tell me, because you guys have been in the clubhouse. Freddie was the unequivocal leader of that clubhouse. I know Ronald Acuna Jr. had said some things, but and they've since kind of worked that out. But bottom line, like you said, Snicker allowed Freddie to take care of some things in the clubhouse. So now for the Braves, okay, you're right. It can't be Olson. Somebody else has got to fill that void. And these are things that we can't quantify, but are they significant?
I think they are significant. And I think at some point we'll see over the course. But you won a World Series without Ronald Acuna Jr. My point is players are replaceable. Right? You can win again. I think when you look at how this was handled, I'm a huge Freddie Freeman fan. And when I spoke out and wrote something on Instagram, I was like, man, how do you replace this dude? Some things you just can't replace. He's a guy that's in the clubhouse. He runs that clubhouse. Everything goes to him. Mikey even talked about being the face of the franchise. He's a poster child. When you look up anything with Atlanta Braves, Freddie's a part of that. But you move on. And whatever that move on it deals with, that's what happened. But I just love the fact that you was able to bring in a guy like Matt Olson, who I think helps that young team stay vibrant, stay window of opportunity, stays open for a long time, and you get Ronald Acuna Jr. back. I don't think we're going to have this conversation come mid-season. I'm just saying, Freddie's dope. I believe Freddie's amazing. But
I think victories cure everything.
Yep.
You know, because for me, as much of a presence as Freddie Freeman was in the clubhouse, did he have this everlasting effect on Duvall, Rosario, Soler, all the guys they picked up, like they had to just jump on this Freddie train? No, I think they just, hey, we're big league players. We got a good team. We're in the playoff push. Let's go to it. If you get Acuna Jr. back and you get Olson having the year that he's capable of having, the Braves are going to be good. You know, and if they win the division and go deep into the playoffs, I'm not saying you're going to forget Freddie, but fans have a short-term memory as well. And if you're winning, they're going to jump. There's going to be a lot of Olson jerseys coming out, 1,000%. You know, in Atlanta. So it could work for both sides. And for the Braves to be able to handle the contract, have the guy with the stars they have, credit to, I mean, for the Dodgers, credit to them too, you know, because they reloaded. So you lose Seager, you get Freeman, hey, exactly. I'm in.
And that's it, to that point of, you know what, how many years you say you want, Freddie? 6?
Yeah.
Okay, you get 6. That's how much we believe in you. And you're going to be what, and I always go back to this when you think about Justin Verlander, what he did to Houston. You got Justin Verlander to win your World Series. Can Freddie Freeman win the Dodgers World Series? I believe he can, because that's how good he is.
We got a little bit of time left here, but Ronald Acuna Jr., you guys both mentioned him. He started a rehab assignment, or started to play a little bit, so we're going to see him coming up a little bit later on the season. But it's almost embarrassing. You're getting an all-star caliber MVP type player back who you didn't have for the second half of the season a year ago.
And that whole thing where you said guys needed to step up, Austin Riley stepped up.
Yeah.
So now with his, let's say, stepped up stature, you combine him and then you put the talent of Acuna Jr., arguably that offense could be better. You know, it's like you said, Fran, he's not above average. He's not all-star. He's MVP caliber type talent, you know? So the Braves got to be happy. They got to be excited where they are.
This is scary. I mean, when you think about getting him back and how he looked in spring training, walking in, the boys. See, that's what you talk about. When you have certain dudes come back, it's like, trade for who? No, we got our guy. We're just getting him back healthy, right? So that throwing him back into the mix, it just eliminates the stress of everybody else in the clubhouse. That's all it does. It's like, now we got to start. Lineup is absolutely on another level. We got 1-0 possibly in the first inning a lot of times, and he's just a guy. He's just that key piece to that puzzle that keeps it rolling.
Another guy they're going to get back, and we're not hearing a ton about, but he's going to be equally as key that starting rotation is Mike Soroka, who is a fantastic, a young right-handed pitcher. So that's going to help Brian Snitker's rotation out.